She was growing as a very beautiful woman. For Sarah to have recommended her to Abraham tells me that Agar must have imbibed the values of Sarah, but it was dark spot. The enemy found it a convenient opportunity to launch an eternal attack on the program of God in Abraham's life. Dark spot. Look at Abraham. His walk with God was very beautiful, as it God promised him a child, and we couldn't see any reason for which God delayed him from having a child. For 24 years, Abraham went about telling the same lie, that he was a bachelor. He told Sarah, tell everybody I am your brother and you are my sister. A bachelor in the public, but a married man at home. He tells everybody he's not married out there. He comes inside in his closet during his quiet time. He's asking God, to me you have given no seed. Of course, there shouldn't be anything stopping Abraham, a friend of God, from having the promised child. But there was this dark spot of lying in his life. And until the palace of Abimelech, when he publicly agreed that Sarah was his wife, that same year, Sarah conceived. And the following year, she dandled a baby in her bosom. Dark spot. Dark spot will prolong the journey of a man. Dark spot will rubbish the prayers of a man before the Lord. Think about Joab, the son of Zeruiah. He was a great man. He stood with David. He went through thick and thin with David. He was loyal to David. He risked his life with David. He went everywhere. He supported David in every sense. But there was this dark spot. In the dark spot of unforgiving heart. In the dark spot of anger. And it was growing with him. David saw it. He became too hot for David to handle. But before David died, it was so clear that that dark spot was going to be a reason for affliction for Joab. Number one, we noticed that when David was making up his jewels, the name of Joab was missing on the list. And yet I thought Joab's name should be the first on the list. Among the men of David, Joab's name was missing. And he fought all the battles with David. Dark spot. When dark spot is in a man's life, it removes his name from the book of life. When he was to be killed by Benaiah under the instruction of Solomon, he was holding the horns of the altar. Anybody who holds the horn of the altar deserves mercy. But Solomon ordered that he should be killed there. Mercy was far away from him. Dark spot. When there is dark spot in a man's life, he truncates his dream. He brings the devil so close that the devil could argue eloquently and reasonably with the Lord over the affairs of that man's life. Why should the devil contend with Michael that Moses belonged to him? Was it not because of the dark spot in Moses' life? I think we need to ask the Lord for grace. I think a moment like this is a moment of sober reflection. I think each one of us should look inwards and check for this dark spot in our lives. Men may not have noticed it, but heaven knows. And if you're a very careful Christian, you should know, you should be able to recognize this dark spot. Could it be anger? Could it be because you have refused to be discipled? Could it be because you have a sin you have not restituted? Was Judah told that there was a dark spot in his life, such that Tamar was going to use against him? Maybe he would not have disgraced himself publicly. But thank God that Judah was willing to let go of the dark spot. He publicly confessed, this woman is more righteous than I do. And that saved him. That launched him into the terrain of the lion. God could look at him as a bold man. And for Jacob also to be freed from his dark spot, God asked him through that angel, what is your name? 20 years before that time, same question was asked, and he said it was Esau. But that day, he agreed before that angel that his name was Jacob. Even Samson, even though now he has lost his two eyes, for him to be free from that dark spot, he had to pray again, remember me. And God remembered him. He was taken away from strange women. He was peeled away from eating unclean things, drinking alcoholic beverages. He was kept away from associating with the dead. And until then, God was not willing to return to him. And you too can ask God again. I believe your hair could grow again. Even if the devil has removed your hair, your locks, your grace of a Nazarite, I believe if you turn to the Lord in prayer this moment, God will return to you. If you will agree that you've been a supplanter, if you agree that you have projected a false identity of yourself, if you will own up before the Lord, I believe He will take care of the dark spot, and the enemy will have no foothold to afflict your life anymore. God bless you as you pray at this moment.